What is up, world? BakermanBrad here this time. I know you're expecting James Blonde, but he's taking a breather here at PAX, getting some more footage for you somewhere else. But behind me, this sexy bot, Hex, and Kevin from Tuque is here to explain Livelock. And from what I've saw already, it's a really nice arcade-style, top-down shooter that has a little bit more of a futuristic, end-of-the-world feel with lasers and explosions. Would you mind elaborating a little bit on that? Because I feel that that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Livelock.
Well, I think you described it pretty well. It's lots of lasers, lots of explosions. Livelock is set in this post-human world where all the humans are gone, but we were able to upload a human consciousness onto a machine, and that's where we get Hex. So Hex is our first playable character. We're going to be releasing 3 in total, but Hex is a smack-talking, ultra-confident, long-range marksman. And his special abilities let him dance around the battlefield and take out his enemies really efficiently.
Nice. So kind of the Deadpool of the post-apocalyptic world, and if he was a robot and purple.
Turns out, there are plenty of targets these days too. And not a single one of them has ever scratched my armor. Okay, nobody saw that. As I was saying, none of them has ever Alright, that's it. You want to play some games? How about these games?
That's right. You can say that.
You can say that. So you said Hex was the first character of all of these. So how many are y'all planning on having at time of the launch and when this game goes live?
Right. So we'll launch with 3 playable characters. Each of the characters have their own unique personalities, their own unique backstories, their own special weapons, their own special functions. Basically, each class plays totally differently.
Nice. So we're not going to have a whole bunch of people being stuck with something that feels, I guess, cookie cutter and stuck in one type of a dimension there?
Absolutely. We designed this game with 3 playable classes in mind. So each of them have their own pros and cons, and they complement each other really well. But when you do play the game, you could play with 3 hexes. It's completely viable. There's lots of interesting synergies between their abilities. And because they have such a wide range of weapons and special abilities, you can customize your hex to be personal, to be your own style of play.
Got it. So you could have all 3 but still be completely different. I think that'd be a good thing if everyone has a Deadpool personality or a little bit too cynical. There's way too much smack talk going on there.
That's right.
So with that, whenever you're launching, you said you were going to have 2 game modes. Is that correct? Whenever you get going, or was it more than that? Was it less? And also, would you mind elaborating on what the main story is for Livelock?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be launching in 2016. We have 2 main game modes. We have a campaign mode where you play through the main story arc of Livelock. There's 3 different acts, and you fight 3 different machine clusters. These machines were autonomous, but after the humans were killed in the Cataclysm, they all kind of went haywire, and they all evolved separately and became these corrupted killing machines. And essentially the
Terminator-esque.
Terminator-esque. The three different clusters are basically at war with each other, fighting over resources on the planet. So the planet's really at risk now, and it's your job as one of the capital intellects, which is a human consciousness uploaded onto a machine, to wipe out the enemy machine clusters and restore order to the planet.
Got it. Okay, so that was the main campaign mode, and with it being the top-down kind of a setting, is it going to be something where you're kind of just running down a bridge the entire way, or is there going to be some type of almost open world element in this game?
Right, so in the campaign mode, we have about 20 different missions. Each mission has its own objectives. Some are like the one that you played was just ramming down the bridge and destroying everything in your way. Other missions have more exploration elements to them. But aside from the campaign mode, we have an open protocol mode. And the open protocol mode uses some variables and procedural generation where every time you play the level, it has a different layout. You have different enemy combinations and different objectives that you have to play through. So you can either play through the main story campaign at different levels of difficulty, or maybe you want to try the more replayable, procedurally generated content as well.
Okay, so with that, when it comes to having something that always is evolving and adapting in the, the open world little version there, the open protocol, sorry, what is that going to mean for the characters? Like, what is it that you're going to be able to do to customize your character? I know you said there was going to be certain weapons and abilities, but what is it that's going to be driving players to stick around and get that involved with their characters?
Yeah, that's a great question. In Livelock, our level progression system allows players to unlock additional weapons. So each player has 6 total weapons you can unlock and 5 total special abilities. Before you start a mission, you choose which 3 weapons you want to use and 2 of your special abilities along with an ultimate special ability. So as you level up and as you gain experience, you gain access to a larger toolkit, and you can specialize your character more efficiently by selecting which weapons you like to use the most, which functions you like to use the most to really specialize your play. In addition, we have weapon upgrade materials that you can collect that increases the damage of your weapons or the rate of fire. And we also have purely cosmetic items like capes and helmets and metal alloys, so you can really personalize your character as you play.
There you go. I know a lot of people out there like to make it feel like it's their person whenever you have a level of ownership and really kind of getting involved there. So with Hex, being the marksman of it, is there anything that you can tell us about any of the other characters out there, just kind of as a teaser? Because I know you don't want to get too carried away and give everything off right before we launch. But what would be the one other character, like give me one thing on somebody else that would be worth looking forward to?
We'll tell you guys more information soon. The only thing I can tell you is that each of the 3 classes are designed around different play style, so they all behave very differently. We're looking at kind of like a holy trinity where we have a tank, a DPS, and a support, but each class is totally viable by themselves. They all have their own offensive and defensive abilities, and basically certain abilities are better in co-op, certain abilities are better in single player, so you can play however you want to play.
Got it. I had a feeling that there was going to be only a little bit that you could tell us about that one, but I figured I would try. Everybody likes getting those little, everybody likes spoilers and you're just enough of a teaser to get through there. But with that, I know that this one is not going free to play, and just out of curiosity, Perfect World is usually very free to play in terms of what they're putting out in the world and getting for games. What was the idea behind Livelock not going through the free to play model?
It's a great question. We really wanted to deliver a solid experience for the players. Up to 3 players, you can play with your friends. And when you buy the game, you have access to all the characters, and by playing through the game, you get access to all the different weapons and special abilities. So really our focus is to make a fun game you can just pick up, you can start playing. We have a high mechanical skill cap as you play at the higher levels of difficulty. They can be kind of punishing, so you need to learn the interesting interactions between the players and the enemies and really exploit their weaknesses in an intelligent way.
Right, because I remember some of them, the characters there, whenever you were fighting some of the enemies, they would actually, instead of being rush you and try to kill you no matter what, there were several that were going to actually hide behind something and then try to kill you. So what was the idea behind making such a involved AI for the enemy that you were trying to destroy? What was the kind of driving idea behind that?
Right, so as developers, we're all gamers. We all love our classic arcade-style games, super hectic and crazy.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do is take that really fun experience and evolve it and make it more challenging, more interesting. So what we did is we gave our enemies more intelligence and more interesting behaviors. They all have different attacks that you need to learn how to exploit and dodge and get behind them and do extra damage. So it's all about taking that arcade, that really fun experience, and bringing it to the next level. And I think that's what Livelock is.
From what I've seen, I can say that there's pretty much everything right there was spot on. Just getting to actually see an arcade-style game. We made several comparisons of older games that we're not going to go and say because we'd hate to age ourselves in this one. But just the evolution of this, putting it into the future, I really do feel that this is a game that is going to be real fun to pick up and play with some friends, play with random individuals, and kind of get out there and experience the game. But with that said, when you do launch, what platforms are you planning on launching?
Right, so we're launching 2016. We're launching on PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Everybody. So everybody gets it.
To play.
Yeah. Is there going to be any cross-platform gaming?
Not at this time. We haven't investigated that yet. We're just mostly focused on getting a really fun core experience.
All right, so that's the only thing. Everybody gets to play, but not everybody gets to play with everybody, which I feel that would probably be a good line that Hex would use in something.
You should write that down.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you need me to do some voice acting later on, I might have some time. But with that said, I know that I was really, I really enjoyed playing Livelock and getting to see what was out there for it. Is there anything that we could leave on a high note on what to expect for longevity, like how to keep people coming back for more for Livelock?
Well, there's a lot of player customization that you will unlock as you continue to play. So the more that you invest time into the game, the more you can personalize your character. In addition, you can try playing through the campaign with the other characters as well. So there's really a wide range of experiences you can have. In addition, as I mentioned before, we have that open protocol mode, which is something that you can replay infinitely because every time it'll be just slightly different. So you can get new experiences from that.
Well, there you go. Well, with that, I think that's going to be everything that we're going to be able to tell you about Livelock without holding these guys down and forcing them to tell us some of those secrets, which granted, we're outnumbered, so I don't think we want to do that. But gamers, I'm going to let you get back out there exploring what's going on in PAX. If you're watching any of our videos, feel free to take a look at anything else Livelock has, and I'd be willing to bet, actually before we go, if they wanted more information on Livelock, where could they go to find that information aside from what we have posted?
So if you want to find out more about Livelock, you can check our Twitter at PlayLivelock and go to our website, playlivelock.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin. And gamers, get back to gaming.
Oh, yeah! Come on, are these guys on easy mode? Hey, watch this. 360, no scope, boom, headshot. You mad, bro? I could do this all day. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm here to carry these other scrubs, though. Humanity wouldn't stand a chance.